This is Steve from Boxing UK here at Manchester with one and only Peter Fury.
Good to see you, Steve.
Thank you, Peter. First of all, I have to wish you Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Did you have a good festive period, a good break?
Had a good break, yeah, nice and relaxing it was.
Get up to much?
For me, little is best, so not a lot. I just relaxed and I enjoyed it. But it was enjoyed, it only comes around once a year. I've got a ton of decorations around the house because I like all fancy lights and stuff like that. And just look to go into it. That's enough for me.
Main reason we're here, Peter, is Hughie and Savannah are back. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, they're back in camp. As you can see, they've done a heavy session today on the pads. We're finishing off with bits and pieces. We're back sparring. We've got Martin Bacoli in the camp, he's sparring with Hughie all through his camp, so that's brilliant. Savannah, we'll be drafting sparring in for her shortly. As soon as we get a fight fixed, well, a fight date's fixed. We're just looking for opponents at the moment. But that's it, so it's all systems go, yeah.
Both fighters back after Christmas, have they been training through it all, Peter? Have you got a little bit weight to lose, or? I
don't really believe in training hard out of camp, because camp's so hard when you start, because then it gets monotonous. But what likes of Hughie, he's been working on his strength and stuff, and his core strength. Not so much on the fitness, because there's no need. That's why you have 8-week camps.
Yeah.
I don't want a fighter coming in like a racehorse super fit, because he ain't going to make the 8 weeks. So they need to be backed off and enjoy the downtime. Put a bit of weight on, you know, that's fine.
Can we start with Savannah?
Yeah.
She's back at Newcastle. Is it April the 7th?
I think so, yeah. That's beginning of April somewhere. 4th, 7th of 8th, 5th. I'm not sure what exact date, but it's next one in April. Is Lewis Ritson on it?
What we've heard is Lewis Ritson's on it, Joe Laws is on it.
Brilliant. Possibly
Joe Kelly and Evan Essian we heard last night.
Yeah, always is a good fight crowd up there. And I know when Savannah boxed before, you know, she got a really good welcome up there. And I know a lot of lads in Newcastle myself, because obviously I've been up there. I spent a lot of time in school up there, let's say. Yeah. And I know a lot of people up there, and they're all good lads, to be fair. And, you know, rough and ready as well. They love the boxing.
Big boxing fans, and it's great for us to have somebody like Savannah, and as well as Lewis and Josh Kelly flying the flag for us after a long time where we had nothing.
100%, you know, and Lewis Ritson, you know, I rate him, even though he had a loss, it means nothing. Look what he's come back, and you know, look how he is now. He's a better fighter for it. You know, that's it. It's all. It's not what you do, the mistakes. It's how you correct them, and he seems to have done that very well.
So looking back at 2019, Peter, with Savannah, good year, a very good year.
Well, of course, it's a good year. You know, she's undefeated. She must be 1 or 2 in the world ranked, and we're just looking forward to getting her in the serious fights. Because, like I said, it's not about talking; it's about doing. And Savannah will make a mark this year.
So the Newcastle card, is that just a getting back to business fight?
Yeah, but we'll still have a good fight. If we can get a good fight for Savannah, she'll take it. So if not, she'll just get a keep busy fight. But it doesn't mean to say if a good fight comes up, she'll take anybody really. So we're open to any kind of fight for her.
Obviously not a world title fight though. Is that what you're looking at after this Newcastle one?
Yeah, and you know, if a world title come and you know it come our way and we wanted it and it was that time away, we'd take that as well. But I'm easy, so she can have a fight, an interim fight, and then probably a world title next.
Yeah. Obviously there's a lot of talk with Savannah, and Clarissa Shields seems to dominate an awful lot of questions, but would the objective not be to unify the division? Because is it 2 girls hold 2 belts each in that division? So Savannah could potentially be the unified champion at the end of the year.
Well, I think that's the aim. You know, super middleweight to fight for the titles. And you know, let's see. You know, she's. I'm not sure how many fights she's had. She's had 8 or 9 fights. I think she's had 9, has she? I think
so. Yeah, 9-0.
So you know, this is she's ready. So she's got the right amount of experience. She's been a professional now, and yeah, she's ready She's ready now. She's not being rushed. She's had good learning fights, and. Yeah, she's definitely ready for the world title fights.
Obviously we talk about unifying, but that Clarissa Shields question won't go away. Is that something that you actively promote as a trainer, or do you steer her away from that for now?
I'm looking for Savannah. She's comfortable at super middle. Let's get some belts behind her there and drop back down for a fight. But that's the fight. They're on a collision course, and I'd like that fight sooner than later. You know, so it just depends how fast we can get these world titles in. It could even be the end of the year, that fight. Which would be fantastic if it could be made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want Savannah busy this year. So, as far as I'm concerned, she could have one fight and then back to back for 2 world title fights, and that would mean towards the end of the year she could fit that in. But let's see. I'm not the promoter. It's up to Eddie to get her the fights. So let's see what he does. But she's ready. She'll step up to the plate. If Eddie's got the fights there, she'll step up to it.
The fact that we're even talking about that, Peter, shows how far women's boxing's come in just a couple of years.
Oh no, it's come a long way. But Savannah hits like a man. So I'm not being funny. This is not like a feminine camp, is it?
Not at all. To be honest, when I walked in, it was Savannah that gave me the stare, frightened the life out of us.
No, but it is. It's a man's camp, this. I don't like pussyfooting around. I don't like, I don't know what to explain to you, but this is a man's camp. I can't bother with all that shit. Yeah. Get dirty, get blood and snot, and let's see what you're about. So that's the kind of camp she's in. So like I said, she hits like a man, she fights like a man, she spars men. So it's going to be a hell of a ride for Savannah. She can hit. Sure can.
Just watching the last half an hour, I would agree with that. Does she relish this kind of camp, Peter?
She does, she's learned a lot, and she sits on the shots well, and to be fair, our opponents has never took the full brunt of the force of it yet, but but she's developing so well, it's unbelievable. She's definitely a force in the women's division. I tip her to do very big things anyway, so I've said enough, I just want to see the action now. Yeah,
one thing I noticed when you were in the ring with her, she was always asking you questions, so an eager pupil?
Yeah. We speak a lot. The communication's a big thing with boxing, and it's like you have got to teach, not just do. Any fool can do and throw some punches like a robot. It's what you're going to do when you're not in front of them. They've got to use their own mind. So exercise your own mind and understand something before you do it. Get the grasp of it, because if you understand it, well, you're a teacher yourself. If you're telling me to do something, do your maths. What does that mean to me?
Do your maths, but the conversation we had before we started, Peter, not every child does it now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you can't even shout at them today, can you?
No, you can't, mate.
Exactly.
Should we go into that conversation?
You can if you want.
Just the youth of today?
It's not my world, is it? I'm a dinosaur, thank God I am. Because what I see today, I don't see, I don't know. It's past my time, isn't it? So it's not for me anyway.
But like you say, this is a
you can't shout at them, you can't clip them up the ear, you can't do anything. I think if I'd have had kids now and they'd been this way, I'd have been doing time for slapping the kids up and down. I'd have been a paedophile, I think.
So I'm assuming that you did give Hughie a clip when he stepped out of line, and
he's had plenty as a young lad. Like my dad clipped me as well, right at the lips. Canes in schools and all that, crossed the hands. I had it all. But thank God they did. It was men's men back then. And didn't do me any harm. And I've got my mother living with me today. She's 84. Idolise my mother, idolise my father. But mess them around, you get clipped up the ear. My mother does. You over the head with a brush or anything. Yeah. So what? Not doing any harm, did it? Cheeky young lad. How are you going to learn otherwise? Some people think they can learn them by talking to them. Today they've got their head stuck in a computer, no wonder they're daft as bushes, aren't they?
Watching YouTube, hopefully, our channel.
Yeah, not saying all kids are like that, some very nice young kids, But
there is, I can vouch for that as well.
Yeah, exactly, it's 50-50 is what it is. Maybe I'm talking about the 10%, but that's what it is.
But that 10% that dominate the rest of them though, Peter, and I can say that as a teacher.
Well, that's what it is. I know when I done things wrong in my life I got punished, and when I was a man I got punished with the law as well. When I stepped out of line I got dealt with, and it didn't do me any harm, because it learns you one thing, it learns you to have respect, and if you got no respect after that, you're an idiot.
Agree. Can I get an exclusive?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing Hughie did as a child that got the wrath of Peter?
I've got to be honest, he never really done much as a child wrong. Never done hardly anything wrong. He's been very quiet, and he's always listened, and he's been, got to say, he's been a very good kid. He has been a good lad. He's grown up well, and he's just had a quiet nature about him. Serious but quiet, that's his nature. So he's never really stepped out of line. The only thing he's done is break bones of his own bones. Yeah. He's been took to the hospital and stuff because he's accident prone, but apart from that, he's been fine.
We'll move on to Hughie in a minute, but just to wrap up the women's boxing, Good friend of yours, good friend of our channel, Jane Couch.
Yeah, Jane, yeah.
She's just had a life story made of being in production for a movie. Just your thoughts on that? Well deserved, because she was a pioneer, wasn't she?
100%. She's the one that got women's boxing off the map. Let's not forget, when she started, there was no women's boxing. It was scorned upon. You know, look what she had to go through back then. Yeah. How much did she love that sport to do what she did?
Yeah.
And you know, she really took it by the neck. I know Jane very well. I got a lot of respect for her as a person, as a woman. She's a family woman as well. You know, she deserves all the success in the world, and I wish her all the very best. And if anybody deserves a movie, she does, because she's earned it. She's earned it better than anybody, because she went through a hard time being a woman. I remember it well. Yeah. I watched the fights. Yeah. You know, and she fought some good fighters as well. So she really had it hard in and out of the ring. So, like, full respect to Jane. I wish her all the very best.
Yeah, we read her autobiography, and some of the things that she was subjected to. It's the likes of Savannah and Katie Taylor that should be extremely thankful, I think, to Jane for what she's gone through to get women's boxing where it is today.
100%. And when I'm down in Bristol, me, Aaron, Brian, go for the Guinness. You know, we have a good night, to be honest.
I heard you'd gone on a healthy regime, Peter.
Yeah, Guinness is vegan.
Of course it is, yes.
It is. I didn't know that.
Right.
So when I went to the pub the other day, to the local, yeah, I said, he said, what are you on? I said, I don't know, give me a glass of water. He said, you look a bit pissed off. I said, you'd be, wouldn't you, with a glass of water? He said, listen, he said, Guinness, he said, is vegan. He said, you can have Guinness and blackcurrant and all that. I was like, give it here. Ended up having 5 pints or something. I went out and bandy-legged.
Good for you.
Exactly, go on.
Moving on to Hughie. He's back in March at Manchester Arena.
Yeah.
No opponent yet, but can you tell us what kind of fight we can expect for Hughie?
Yeah, we're expecting a decent fight. They're working on it now, and I'm just waiting to hear back. We're all looking at opponents and seeing what's what. So they're coming up with opponents. We spoke today, and they're actively working on it. So we should have something back pretty soon.
Is Eddie giving you that famous list for Hughie to pick one again, or is it something different this time?
They're just, you know, we've asked Mick to look at it. Mick Hennessey's having a look. MTK's looking as well. So Eddie's passed it over, and we'll get back, and that's it. We'll just take whatever sensible fight comes up.
Last time we saw him in action was the Povetkin fight.
Yeah.
I don't think we've spoken since then. Just your thoughts on that, because it was a close fight, and as we'll come on later, a close fight with a guy who was essentially still boxing with one and a quarter hands.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've spoke about it many times. You know, it can be close, but one, it doesn't take the judge's eyes. One, it doesn't look nice to the public. So you can be a nearly man. You're not in it to be a nearly man, are you? You're in it to let your shots go. So we've been working on a lot of stuff. He's remedied that problem, and we look forward to putting on a display in March the 7th.
Yeah. So the right hand, because last time we did spot, you said he's got to throw the right hand more, and it's transpired that he couldn't. There was a problem, but you're saying that's fixed?
We fix that now, and you know, we don't want to reveal too much about it, but people will see how he is, and you know, expect to see a different lad. You know, which I don't say that lightly, because he's worked on a lot of things, and I'm looking forward to March the 7th.
So now that he's thrown the right hand, Peter, if you could estimate how much of a percentage improvement that would give Hughie, what would you think?
Well, it's going to be a vast improvement, because he's going to let his hands go, because before you've seen a jab, an odd looping right, you know, an odd right hand which is predictable. So like I said, there'll be a big improvement, because now we can let the combinations go and be fluent. So that's what we want to see.
And after he gets through this next fight, is he looking for immediate rematches with Povetkin, or?
We'd love that, you know. Povetkin's a good fighter, but you know, he'd love to get that fight back, and any of the fights really. So, like I said, let's see what happens this year, and maybe he can avenge one of them fights, because he'd like to revenge them. That's for sure. He's young enough, and if they'll give him the opportunity, he'd love to face him again. Yeah,
because he wasn't beaten up in any of those, Peter, was he? The Parker one, personally, we thought he won.
Yeah.
The Pulev one was a bad cut.
I think he's only losing by what he does himself. You know, it's not the opponent in front of him that's beating him, he's beating himself because he's not doing enough. And there's a reason why he's not doing enough. So the opponents are not bothering him, it's just that he's not been doing enough for various reasons. And I believe we've worked them reasons out. So let's see. But I'm expecting him to do good things. March the 7th, we've got the best of sparring here with Big Martin.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter, puts a lot of pressure on, and he's perfect for Hughie. So, like I said, we've got good sparring for him here, and this is his year, it's a serious year for him. He works hard, and looking forward to him performing, because there's no more excuses, there's no more lacklustre performances. He's 25 now, he's coming into his own. So let's see what he's supposed to do, and what it says on the tin. Entertain, have a fight, and throw some punches.
What do you make of the criticism that he gets, Peter? Because we put out numerous texts about Hughie, and most of them are supportive, but you get an awful lot like, he's boring, he doesn't throw his right hand, snooze fest, all the rest of it. Do you ignore that? Because it's easy to you're also his dad.
Well, it doesn't matter to me, and it's a reality, because a lot of the time it is. So what these fans are frustrated, because I agree, what they're saying is right. Look, proper boxing purists, they know fighting, they're looking at it, they're watching it, they want to be entertained, and that's not what's happening. So it's frustrating to see. So I get it, understand it, and he needs to break out of that mould and get on with it. So yeah, it's justified. Anything that's justified is correct. If you can't take self-criticism when you're wrong, then pack it up. Get on and do something about it. That criticism, use it for fuel, like fuel on a fire. Put wood on it, let it burn the flame. So I hope he looks at them all.
And if it burns the flame and he's put it right, what do you expect for 2020?
Oh, he can do massive things, Like I said, world amateur champion. He's had 26 fights at such a young age. He's there, isn't he? He just needs to tweak things and let the reins go.
And where would you want him to be at the end of the year, Pete? I think I heard you previously say that there's no reason why he can't rip through the division.
There's no reason at all. He should be able to rip through it and get back into title contention. It's all down to him, down to his mentality, just to get on and do it. The capability's there. So let's see.
With some of the older heavyweights being the belt holders, do you look at Hughie as a longer term plan now, with them still only being 25 and a lot of them are above 30, or you still wanting to get there as quick as possible?
Well, we'll just see what comes up. The main thing is for look, I believe we've got the best team in world boxing. There's not many fighters that's got a combined team behind him. You've got Hennessey Sports, you've got MTK, there's match room. Could you get any better? The three good teams, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So everybody's behind him. He's a nice young man, everybody's carrying the journey with him, he's not abandoning anybody, he ain't jumping ship, he's staying loyal to his people and he's cracking on forward. And that's what I believe in, that's the route he'll take. Might be the longer route, might be the harder route, that's the route he'll go, because I want this young man to be special, win things the right way, and be respected for what he does.
Yeah.
And nobody saying, oh, look what he done, look what he done. There's not going to be any of that here. I want him to do his job right. It's not all about money, it's about being right, having your moral values into perspective and treating everybody with respect. That's what I believe in, that's the values he's been taught to use, and that's what he lives by. So it might be the long route, it might not be modern society today, where shit on everybody, trample on them to get your own way. That's not here, that's not going to happen.
It's refreshing to hear. Difficult question, I suppose, because I'm literally a metre away from here, but there's never been any thought of Hughie going elsewhere? Because some father-son relationships break up. I'm thinking of someone like Lewis Ritson, who went away from his dad to go and work with another coach locally. It's never been a question that Hughie would leave.
We never spoke about it. It's not about father and son relationship. It's not nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's got nothing at all to do with it. Everything's easy here. You can either do it, you're not doing it. It's plain and simple.
Next question's easier. You've been there, you have done it at the highest level. What would it mean to do it again with Hughie?
Yeah, it's not easy at the highest level. You've got a lot of politics involved. You've seen the cheating that went over in Germany. You've got to unravel it. Nobody unravelled anything. It was me and Mick Hennessey that unravelled that in Germany. And if we hadn't have done that, probably wouldn't have lifted the world title. So we had to get that ring up. We fought cat and dog to get that ring moved. I was taking him home. So there's no way any fighter is getting abused with me. So it's a good job we had the foresight, the experience there. And main thing is, let the fighters have a fair fight. That's the thing. Don't believe in any of that. Don't believe in none of it. Not looking for any edge, just looking for the fighter to do his best and win. So yeah, I know what it is at top level. We're not mugs here, and like I said, There's no shouting from the rooftops. There's no gloating on what's been achieved. We've got a mission to do. Any success, I thank God for it, and let's just move on.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you the very best with both Savannah and Hughie. Can I just ask your opinion on a couple of things,
Yeah,
Peter? The heavyweight division as a whole, it looks over the next 12 months that for whatever reasons there's going to be rematches, trilogies, mandatories. How difficult is it for a fighter outside the top 3 or 4 to plan ahead? Because it must be, is it not disconcerting when you think, well, doesn't matter what I do, I'm not going to get a shot yet?
I don't think it matters, you know. If you look back over the years and all the interviews I've done, I've always said, if you're good enough, you'll get there. Forget the politics, forget the barriers, you're good enough, you'll climb up. Because one, people want to see it, people like to see winners, and that's it. If you're good enough, you get there. So I don't look upon all that. I don't look upon getting a title shot. I don't look at anything. I look at beating the fighter that's in front of him and moving on, and the titles will come.
Obviously one of those is Anthony Joshua, and it seems he's stuck between fighting Usyk or Pulev. Now you've obviously come face to face with Pulev. What would your advice be if you were to be asked for it?
I don't think he needs my advice. I think he's got good teams around him. You've got to say Pulev would be probably the best option. You know, Usyk is a bit of a special talent. I think if Usyk can do the transition to heavyweight, I think there's going to be a lot of heavyweights in trouble.
Yeah.
But has he got that? Can he bridge that gap? We've seen a lot of cruiserweights. We've seen like the great Evander Holyfield. We've seen cruiserweights before come up. We had Michael Moore back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, come up from cruiserweight, even light heavyweight. So, like I said, that transition is not easy. Because if you're natural heavyweight, you're natural heavyweight. If you're not, it can tell. But like I said, I've met Usyk. He's a character. He's got the height. He's a big man anyway. So like I said, I think if he can hold 15.5 stone comfortable, he's big enough.
Yeah. Would you put Hughie in with him, Peter, offered the chance?
Well, I think, you know, the serious fights, aren't they? So, you know, who's going to want to fight like that unless it's for a serious title involved? A world title, yeah. But for a fight with what wouldn't make sense, why would you? You know, because Usyk is a serious fight for any world athlete out there.
I would agree with that. Finally, the boxing purist, I just wanted your opinion on, there was the Conor McGregor UFC at the weekend, and then there's immediate talk of him fighting Pacquiao or Malignaggi. You've got the YouTubers coming into the sport. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's good for boxing, not good for boxing?
To be honest, I'm a fan of boxing. You know, I like the MMA and all that when I'm watching it, but I don't watch it. So if it's put in front of me, I'll watch it, and I do enjoy it when I watch it, but it's not my sport. I haven't seen McGregor's fight. Right. So like I said, it's not my
You didn't miss much.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm not really into it. So I like the art of boxing. I've grown up with boxing. All through my ancestry's been boxing. So I'm interested in one thing. I don't waver off it. I can watch football, but don't follow it. No, I don't even know how it works. You know, so I respect all sportsmen, but it's not my thing.
Peter Fury, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for the invite down here again.
It's good to see
You're
you.
an absolute gentleman.
No, thank you.
Thanks for all your support
Good to see
with
you.
what we're doing.
And keep up the good work.